Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the Demonetized podcast. My god, episode 5 already. What a time it's been. My name is Indigo. I'm one of the dudes on here. I'm also joined by the one and only, the illustrious Maya Fennec.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Maya Fennec in the house.
Hey,
Good. Hi. And not to forget, the creative genius, Day by Day.
Hey, I'm really glad that has become my title on the podcast.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That wasn't me, by the way.
Jack's Films who said it, not me, alright?
Yeah, I didn't say to Endigo, when we start the podcast, this is what you need to call me.
I'm a creative genius, got it?
Well, I for sure didn't ask for illustrious.
Yeah, wow.
I want to do this right on the top of the show before we get too far in. If you're new to the podcast, this podcast is available on YouTube right here on the Demonetized podcast channel with a full video quality of our beautiful faces. But we're also available on iTunes if you're one of those audio listeners, and on other podcast platforms on Android and SoundCloud. Yeah. But if you listen on iTunes, we would very much recommend. Well, we would recommend you go over there and rate us, give us 5 stars, leave us a little bit of a review, because that helps the podcast grow, and we would appreciate that so much. So consider doing that.
Yeah, we remembered to do it at the beginning. Good job, Indigo. That's good. We always forget.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of a conversation. Normally, it's like, oh, hang on a second. The podcast is on iTunes. So, how's it going, guys? What you guys been up to this week then?
Man, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. No, it's been great. On my end, I have not been. This has been my most remix-less week in recent memory. I think I've just been focusing on creativity and exercising way more. So there's been a little bit of a video draft, but I've been feeling way better on a physical and mental plane, I guess. So that's been fun, very refreshing. What about you guys?
I got an iPad!
Whoa! Show it to the camera, Maya, unless you already are. Right?
Yeah, I am! I'm showing it to the camera! Whoa!
That sounds fun.
I got it yesterday, and it's an iPad Pro, and I'm going to use it as a drawing tablet. Because I had some problems with my old one. Yeah, I got the Apple Pen, and I'm just gonna start kicking off my career as a digital artist.
Digital artist.
No, but I'm really, yeah, I'm so happy, and I'm like hoping to start. I'm looking into some like animation programs, like simpler animations, and like my goal behind getting it was kind of also using it like in YouTube videos. Yeah. In ways like, one thing I really want to do is to create like small music videos where I record a short piece of music and then animate a little short story to it or something like that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I could do like speed drawing things and stuff. I don't know. So yeah, I'm very excited to see where.
You could do like speed painting by request. You get all your Patreon dudes to request one thing each, and then you do it all in one video. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, because I have a tier on my Patreon, and right now I have 2 patrons on that tier. That is that they get to choose like 2 words each every month, and I make a simpler drawing of those 2 words for them.
Oh, that's awesome!
At the end of the month. So yeah. So it's pretty fun. So I'm hoping to do like more that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing how that shapes up.
Yeah, I've always drawn.
It'd be interesting to see what you make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and maybe I can draw some stuff for the podcast, and because
you did draw our little manga faces already for the header.
I did.
Yeah.
And
they're awesome. I love them.
I draw them on paper, and then I transfer them into the computer through I took a photo of them, and then I redid it in the computer. But the tablet I was using then I didn't get it to work properly, so they're a little bit etchy sketchy, kinda. So I might even redo those one day, and I don't know.
Cool.
Because my biggest problem have always been like I've been drawing so much, but I always draw on pen and paper, and I've never had any good way to transfer that like to the computer, to digitally.
Yeah,
so I always
yeah.
like take photos of my drawings, but that doesn't really capture the colors that well always.
Yeah. And you can't really edit them after then, can you?
No, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
that's all. Like it's kind of like recording something live and then trying to edit it in the computer afterwards, compared to working with MIDI, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
very hard.
awesome.
So yeah, I'm very happy about that. So what have you been up to, Dave?
Well, my mum's been getting a new kitchen.
Right, how's that going?
Yeah. Yeah, so because the carpenter uses a labourer, but I did the labour instead, so mum didn't have to pay for another labourer. So
Oh, that's a good lad.
It's been tiring. It's been like this last week.
Are you much
like
of
a
a hard laborer? Like,
Yeah, well, I've done like I worked on a farm when I was younger, and that was always hard.
On a
work.
farm?
And then I worked in
really?
and then I worked in a kitchen. So like I've done pretty intense physical shifts and stuff, but it's like you're a different kind of tired at the end of the day. You know, like my brain's still active, but my body's knackered. Like whereas with YouTube, at the end of the day, my brain's dead, but you know I haven't moved. So. But it's more or less done now. Like there's a problem with the plumbing at the moment. So that still needs to be sorted. So it's still not quite all finished. But my part is done. So I'm just gonna let the plumber do the rest. You know. But yeah, so
Nice.
I'm done, and I can get back into videos again because I've been working. So I've been doing that like from like 8 till 5 or whenever he finishes, and then been working in the night. So I've been pretty tired. So. It'd be good to just get back into YouTube.
So what have you been doing?
What? So he like the carpenter will like do most of the work, and then I just like do all the lifting, and I'll do little bits as well, and like drilling and holes and stuff like that. I drilled a massive hole in a wall, but yeah, it's fun. But yeah, so it's tiring, like because I do a lot of the lifting and stuff. But it's alright, it's okay, it's not too bad. But it's done, and I can get back into videos now, which is good. I just been finishing the musical like in the evenings and stuff. So
yeah, dude, I've been watching those. I mean, so like the first one especially, was that your original composition, the song and everything?
Yeah. I'm really happy with that one actually. The song, I've been doing it for a while. I kind of started it and then I left it and then I came back to it. Because I wanted it to be more of like a composition than just like a quick song for like a video. So yeah, I did that, and then the second one is like that's the one where like you introduce the villain. It's a bit more dramatic, and then the third one will actually be out before the podcast. This episode goes out, so I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. So
it's based on Jacksepticeye, and he's like it's like the solution. So at the end, Jack sings his song and then they all get together and sing the last verse together. It's quite fun.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, well the song's a bit more simple, but it's more fun, you know, upbeat. Like I wanted all the songs to be really different. So yeah, but that's been really fun. It's been my favorite thing I've done, I think. I've had the most fun doing it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Awesome.
I thought the Jack's film song was like, it was really intense, obviously with him being the main villain, but especially the Pewd song, I was like, I wasn't sure, like, is this some kind of parody cover? Because again, the song was so good. Like, well done on the just the composition.
Yeah, really well done.
Thanks. Thanks. I am proud of it. It's one of those things. I took my time over the whole song. Like even when I thought I finished, I left it and then I'd come back to it. You know, because there was no rush to finish it. So I think I spent also on Logic. They've just released a new update on the orchestra part, so like your string instruments and your brass instruments, you can now like affect you can edit, like I don't know how to explain it, like the dynamics, so you can have like pizzicato and like tremolo and stuff, whereas before you couldn't do that. You could only play whatever sample that was already there. So so it means there's so much more you can do, and I was just playing with that. But yeah, thanks. It's
awesome.
I am worried that I've accidentally recreated. It's like whenever I do a song, I don't know if you get this, Endigo. Whenever I write a song or make a remix, I'm like, oh, that was all right, and then I think, have I just recreated something accidentally? Because that sounds quite cool. That's like my worry. But even if I've done that, like oh well, it was fun.
Yeah. Oh wait, I know that has happened with some remix I did. I don't remember which one it was, but there was one I heard, or one remix I did that I was pretty happy with. again, I don't remember when.
Yeah.
And then I went back and heard some other song, and I was like, oh shit, I just made the song again. No.
Yeah, it's I think you can, because it's like a subconscious thing. I think I'm always worried, like, and then people might comment saying, "Oh, this sounds like this," and I'm like, "Have I accidentally recreated?" So I don't really listen to music outside of YouTube now because I'm worried that I'll remake it. Like, so it's
yeah, you know, a lot of the most, you know, a lot of very successful musicians don't really listen to music for that very reason. They don't want to get influenced and get compromised in their creativity.
Exactly.
So maybe that's just a sign of a, you know, good composer. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't
know.
Like, I think you can do that, but I think it's interesting to like take influences from different people and try to recreate.
Definitely.
Sometimes, like, maybe if it's not you know, the exactly same thing, but you get new ideas how to use instruments in new ways and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I think it's like knowing what you're doing. Like if I'm listening to something and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I might like try and do something like that. Then that's alright. But my worry is that I'll listen to a song and then the melody will get stuck in my head, and then without knowing it, I'll just rewrite that melody, and then, you know, not know what I'm doing, and then someone will comment and then be like, oh, this is the same as that, and I'm like,
you're like, oh
balls,
shit,
you're right.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling like that with the last song that I'm going to release, because it's quite like upbeat and poppy, but, you know, I'm like, it's a parody, you know, if it is, then, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Weird, like in this
kind of.
Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say the weirdest kind of experience I've had. I did a song a while ago, a couple of years ago, which was a totally original rock song, but it was based around the game No Man's Sky in terms of lyrics and general atmosphere.
Oh.
And so I released the song. I was super happy with it. And then there was another YouTuber. I don't know if I should mention him, but he's way more successful than me in terms of music and videos and subs and stuff. And he also makes kind of video game inspired original rock songs. And I reached out to him and like, hey dude, I think you're cool. And he replied like, oh, thanks, I liked your No Man's Sky song. And I was like, oh my god, cool. And then I started going through his back catalog, and I found one of his most viewed songs of all time had the exact same main melody that I'd written, but I'd never heard that song.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no. And then I never heard from him again. So I was like, no.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It is weird.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But I know what you mean. It's because, like, even though there's so much music, you're only working with a handful of chords and notes. You know what I mean? Like, the chance of things, you know, crossing over is really, really, like, especially because we make so many songs.
Yeah,
but
I think also like now that there are so many people that are making so many songs, but we only have like 24 notes to work with.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
I think it's getting like less and less original like melodies left to make. Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I really worried about that. Like, damn it! Oh, so many good songs have already been made. Can we? Yeah. It's really weird.
I know what you mean. It's funny because the second song in the musical is pretty much all based around one chord, really. Like, there's not really any progressions or any changes in it. So that's what, it's quite dramatic. Like, there's drums in it and stuff. But so I was like, okay, that's pretty safe. You know, it's just like it's you know, it's pretty simple when it comes to the structure of the song. But the first one is a bit more melodic, and the last one's the same. It's like it's quite a typical pop thing with. So we'll see. I don't know. It was like, I think it wasn't. If anything happens with any of my songs or anything, or with yours, it's not intentional. You know, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess. But it is a word. It is something I do think about quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, one comment I get a lot on my remixes, especially those that are kind of poppy, are like, great remix, what's the original? Or like, where's the music from? And I'm like, no, this is the original. And they're like, yeah, but what song are you basing it on? I'm like, no, nothing. This is it. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, I think about that. Like, I think Shmo Yoho were really clever with how they present what they do, because they show the fact that they're producing the song. You know, so as soon as you watch the Shmo Yoho video, you know they've made the song because they're either in it or it's not called it's like Songify or whatever. But for us, not a lot of people would automatically assume that we produce the music. They'd be like, you know what I mean? So, but it is
but also there is a market on YouTube, isn't there? Like, for people who take
use backing tracks,
backing tracks and
Yeah, and also there are some YouTubers out there who create like remixes and tout them as being original songs, but the backtrack is like some random stock music.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no right or wrong, but what we do requires a bit more effort. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, but you also get YouTubers who will, and technically it's fine, but it does kind of annoy me. They'll like use a royalty-free backing track, like from the YouTube library.
Yeah.
And then they'll write lyrics to it, and then like they'll make a video like original song, and then in the description there's nothing saying where it's from. So see, like, so I'm like, come on, like you've literally written lyrics and recorded in your room for like 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
You know, something that actually really made me think a little while back. And I want to start off by saying, like, massive props to Boy in a Band. I'm a huge fan of him, and I think he's super talented.
Oh yeah.
Same goes with The Odd Ones Out and everybody else who he's collabed with in making rap songs. But
Yeah.
So The Odd Ones Out and Boy in a Band, they released a song together a while back called "Life Is Fun," which was a collab. I think it was called like The Odd Ones Out featuring Boy in a Band. And so that song was like the song itself. The lyrics were written by James and Dave, and so they wrote it and they recorded it, and then they did it to a stock beat that they kind of found.
Yeah.
And then when they were gonna finalize the song, Dave, Boy in a Band, he contacted some other YouTube dude who creates like instrumental music and asked him to make a beat for them. And then James, The Almost Out, animated the video.
Yeah.
But James didn't animate all of it. He also contacted other people to animate the video for them. And but the video is still called "Life Is Fun," The Odd Ones Out featuring Boy in a Band. But out of all these people, I'd say Boy in a Band probably had the least work put into the actual production. And even The Odd Ones Out probably only did like maybe 30% of the entire thing. Whereas other people who weren't those two probably did at least 60% of it. So I don't know what point I'm getting to, but it's weird, you know.
But if you're like directing an orchestra, you're not playing on any of the instruments.
No. And if it's not the
yeah.
original music you written either, like.
Yeah, but I think like that as long as they're upfront and they're straight about, like, you know, people are helping them and like they got the beat made and there's other animators, then I think it's all right. Like but when you've got people who do that and then don't credit anyone and then, you know, don't mention it, it's kind of like it's all like a bit shady. But yeah, I know what you mean with that. It's the same with the iDubbbz.
I was also thinking about that. Yeah, the Rice Gum diss track.
But I think it's all right. I know what you mean, because when he explains it, when he goes like behind the scenes, he shows them like writing the songs, and I think his role is more like a producer when it comes to like the lyrics and, you know, like the expression, and he's basically teaching these guys how to rap, isn't he? That's what he's doing. But then they use like a pre-produced track because it's already mastered and everything. But it does raise an interesting point. But maybe when you get to that level, you know, you can. It's a bit more acceptable to do that because you're elevating careers, you know. I don't know,
but it's like it's just when I go on iTunes and I listen to the song "Life Is Fun," I think the vocals are cool, but the beat is the part that I like, and there is an instrumental version of it, and the instrumental is still called "Almost Out" featuring Boy in a Band, but neither of them had anything to do with the instrumental, so it's like
I guess they do.
It's a bit odd, I guess.
Music is just not about the music anymore. It's like the concept of the entire like big picture, I guess.
Yeah,
it's the same with the Rice Gum diss track though, because that song is really cool. Like, it's really awesome,
right?
Because I remember when I watched it.
They also released that like There's also
that is really weird. That's available as a B-side on their single. The instrumental track to that one is on iTunes, and it's called, you know, Asian Jake Paul instrumental. But that instrumental track was already available as a royalty-free instrumental online previously. So they basically just took a song and put it on iTunes, labeled it as their own, and released it. I could be wrong, but
I think
they added some like at the drops and you know, shortened it.
Okay, they like edited it slightly.
They edited it slightly, but like the beat, they didn't do the beat at all.
But they re-released the beat as their own song on iTunes.
Yeah.
What happens with that is there's a couple of websites where they pay producers to make songs, like people like us. You put them up on like this website, and then people have the option to either buy the license or use the song. And then if you buy the full out license, which is more expensive, it's quite expensive. It's not like quite that cheap. If you buy the license to the song, you own the rights to the song then. So if you want to sell it or if you want to use it, that's your song, you know what I mean? So I think I've looked at the website they used, and I think that's what it is. It's like there's all these produced music. You listen to it. If you like the song, you outright buy the license to it, and then you own the license to it, which means there's no copyright issues. So I think that's what they did for both of them. But yeah, it is an interesting concept though. Like
Yeah.
it's more of like they're the front of all the work that's been done, kind of thing.
But it's the same with like the pop industry. Like the artist is the artist and not necessarily the composer is the artist, like the face of it. Yeah. Like I had this one friend of mine in Stockholm who's a pretty prolific music producer. He has his own huge studio and stuff. And I remember visiting him in the studio once, and he was working on something, and he couldn't tell me what it was because it was kind of secret. But then he did anyway. And apparently there's a Swedish media dude, you know, who appears in talk shows and stuff, and he was gonna release his first single as a musician, and on the single there was gonna be a B-side, and so my friend was producing the B-side as a remix, but he wasn't gonna get credited for it at all. He was gonna get paid by the label, and the label would still release it under the name of the artist. Yeah. But the artist hadn't recorded any vocals of his own, because it was like a techno kind of electro whatever thing, just purely instrumental. Yeah. But it was still going to be under his name. And I was like, well, he had zero to do with this. Like, you did this. He's not even recording the vocals. There's some random girl singing. And he was like, that's the industry. And it was all so weird to me. But, yeah. Yeah,
I think it's the same thing. You just sell the license to it, so then you become the owner of the copyright.
Yeah. But, like, just the fact that he wasn't performing or singing or anything, and he was still going to be the face of it, was, like, really strange. It is. It's all about fame.
Yeah, it is a bit sneaky, isn't it?
It's weird, no?
Such is life.
Fame. Actually, it's not really related at all. I was trying to segue, but what's going on with this? Is it Yes Papa meme or Johnny?
Johnny Johnny.
I don't
Yes Papa.
really know that.
That's so uncanny.
See, this is really weird. So,
Indigo, you are probably the one who has most.
I am the Yes Papa connoisseur. All right. So, I mean, so
that's Indigo's new name.
Yeah.
Yes,
and the Yes Papa connoisseur of the internet, Indigo. I mean, so there's a huge industry for children's animations and nursery rhymes on YouTube with these weird animated things that have like 5 billion views of like people singing nursery rhymes, and it's kids TV. It's this generation's version of children's TV on YouTube, and they sing like children's songs and the wheels on the bus go round, 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 stuff like that. And one of the videos, or one of the songs that's been really popular to make kids videos about is Johny Johny, Yes Papa, which is a nursery rhyme kind of children's song, and it's been around for years.
Weird.
Yeah, and it's been around for like years already. I saw videos of it back in, I don't know, 2015. So it's not a new thing. But because like if you went on YouTube and just searched Johny Johny Yes Papa, you would find so many 3D animated videos with like babies and dads going Johny Johny Yes Papa, and that's been a huge thing. And then all of a sudden last week that song goes viral, but it's already big. It's I don't know why, but yeah, it's a thing. It became a meme almost out of nowhere. So
didn't people start to make like creepy versions of it?
No, I made a creepy version of it.
Yeah, I think
you made it. There's loads of memes about it, I think.
Yeah.
And people are like reacting to it. But it was literally like one day. I think it was the day I posted my first episode of the thing, or the second episode. All of my recommended videos were about this video.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like on every video, just for like a couple of hours, that's all I was getting recommended, and I'd not watched anything, and they all had like loads of views, and then the original's got like 101 million views now, or probably more now.
Jesus, man!
And then it was the same on Twitter and on Instagram. It's just popping up. It's like a forced meme, but now they're the company
forced by social media companies.
But they're removing all the videos, aren't they? Like what's the company called? Yeah, it's a toy company, and they're claiming all of the videos that related to it.
Oh,
on Twitter as well.
Oh my god.
no.
Yeah, it's like really, really harsh, like just wiping out everything. So, but I think you'll be alright, Indigo, because you didn't show clips, did you?
No, I mean, I have my thumbnail has an image of a baby from one of those videos, but the original, like everything else I did, is original. So I did this creepy kind of creepypasta kind of short film thing.
Yeah. How did you do the edit of the mouth?
That was so creepy. Jesus fuck. Oh my god.
Wow, the mouth, it didn't turn out as good as I wanted, but I mean, basically what I did the same with. If you think about the mouth in the end that expands,
Yeah.
so what I did was I had myself standing still in front of a green screen, and I just stood there and I opened my mouth slowly, and then I took that footage, added a new layer of duplicated that footage on a new layer, masked out the eye, and like I tracked the eye, masked it out, had it auto track the entire clip, did the same with the other eye, and made those two. Lower the opacity during the tracking. That's when the eyes become black.
Yeah.
And then I tracked the mouth the same way, and masked the mouth, tracked it for the duration of the clip, and then I just scaled the height without scaling the width.
Did you?
Oh, it looks really good. It looks like it looks well creepy.
It's frame by frame track.
Yeah.
So I went frame by frame and adjusted the mask to make it look good, and
cool,
then feathered it a bit to make it not bleed out as much.
Yeah.
I could have made it look even better if I spent another hour on it, but it was already really late in the evening, so I was like, whatever. It's good enough for what it's
You did a
supposed to be.
great job.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Took me a total
That's a cool edit.
of 5 hours to make, like 10 minutes to shoot it, and then like 4.5 hours to just figure out what to make of it. I knew I wanted to make it creepy,
I love
but
that.
yeah. Sorry?
I like that. I kind of like that kind of style where like you shoot something in like a minute and then edit it for 2 days. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. But I
That's
kind of like
my favorite.
making
Love that.
like short horror 30-second things like that. I've done a couple of those in the past, and they typically don't get too many views, but I have so much fun making them. Like
Might be
almost like a
good.
poppy video, but way more disturbing in a way.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
Definitely.
I'm gonna make more of them. Probably this one did pretty well for being a video like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But can't you go over? I think the lyrics are so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
but they are,
what's going
aren't
on? So, Indigo, can you recite the lyrics?
Okay, so the full lyrics to the song, verse 1, is Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. Eating sugar, no, Papa. Telling lies, no, Papa. Open your mouth, ha, ha, ha. And I guess the message is like, it's a way for kids to get taught.
It's like, don't eat sugar. Open your mouth. Ha ha ha. Sounds like he's like forcing it to like, open your mouth.
It's not
Like,
as
what the
weird as.
hell?
Have you seen the daddy finger videos?
Daddy finger videos. That
So
sounds.
there's this
dirty.
this kids channel, and there's this kids song,
God.
and this song is like
Daddy finger.
everywhere. Yeah, and it's like goes, it's like daddy finger,
Oh.
something, and then it's a song about fingers, and it's so disturbing, creepy, and weird. And there's so many videos on it, and they've got millions and millions of views. Like
Jesus Christ.
it's more creepy than the Yes Johnny Papa thing.
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh yeah, I'll send you guys a link later. It's
Jesus Christ. Yeah, please do. Oh
you'll
my
find it if you
God.
search it. It's
There used to be a kids channel kind of thing. The channel was called Hey Kids.
Hi, kids.
And it was basically, it was advertised as being one of those kids channels, but it was so creepy, and it became like a creepypasta kind of thing almost.
But it was partly run by an AI.
It's really
Understood
weird.
that correctly.
What I do recommend, there's a channel called Night Mind, and it's a guy who makes like documentary videos about creepypastas and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And he
That's
made a
cool.
video about the Hey Kids channel. Highly recommend it. It's a very good video.
It's really good.
Really disturbing. It's like a
Send
one
it
of
over.
those.
I want to watch.
Yeah, I'll
That's
send
awesome.
over afterwards. Sure. But that was actually that video that Nightmind did about the Hey Kids channel. That was the first time I heard about Johnny Johnny Yes Papa, because the guy from the
right.
Hey Kids channel sings it in this video, and that video is a couple years old, I think. So yeah,
yeah, it's such a weird, corner of YouTube. This like the kids videos. It's just like it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's very very strange.
So what about you, Dave? Didn't you consider doing a Johny Johny video of your own?
Well, I haven't had the chance because I've been doing the kitchen, so I've only.
All right.
Probably a
I've
better
had,
priority.
Yeah, well, I would love to done some stuff on it, but because I've been doing that in the day, and then in the night, because I've already like got the musical stuff to finish, and I've started posting. I need to finish them, so I've just been editing the musicals, in the evenings. So I literally haven't looked at anything to do for this next couple of weeks, but I'm going to dive back in tomorrow, I think. And,
Yeah.
get some ideas running and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think on the last 2 episodes of the podcast, we've mentioned about Maya's band in Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about it now, because I'm so fascinated that how you have a band in Japan and you live in Sweden. So,
it's kind of an unusual story, I guess. Yeah, but sure. Okay. So it started back in 2015. So it was quite a while ago. So I was in a band called Novembervägen, a Swedish post-rock band. We did post-rock and math rock. And we were touring in Sweden, and it was mostly like Stockholm-based band. And then when we had a release party, that was like in the ending of 2014, I think. A guy came up to me after the gig, and he was like, "Yeah, I really like your music, and I think this kind of music would really work in Japan. I have a contact there. If you want to, I could give you like her info, and maybe you can do something together." And I was like, "Yeah, Japan, huh? That would be cool. I always like wanted to go to Japan, but I haven't been like, I'm not into. Yeah. I haven't watched that much like anime, manga, etc. But I do love like some of the Japanese like indie rock music and like the culture and stuff. And I had studied like a year of Japanese, so I could speak a little. But then anyway, I shot an email to this, like I just got a name, and that was my old manager, turned out. I'm not going to mention her name because she's an asshole and we don't have any contact anymore. But anyway, I got the name to a random person in Japan, and it turns out it was a Swedish person. So I just shot her an email and was like, "Hi, my name is Maya. I play in this band. We would love to come to Japan one day. Cheers," or something like that. And she responded and was like, "Oh God, I love your music. Yeah, of course you should come here, and I can book you gigs and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, this is going like better than I thought, but like, is this real? It feels like Japan is far away, man." So I was like,
that's a big
yeah,
stuff.
It's big stuff, and also it's big stuff to bring. Like, we had a band of 5 members, and like everybody should get like time off their jobs and save money to go there, and it was a big project. So I was like, how are we gonna do this? And I don't think my bandmates are willing to just jump off like on a random person. Like, we didn't know anything about this person who were there, and it was like, it could be a scam and it could be whatever. But I don't know. I was feeling adventurous, and I really wanted to go to Japan, and I had been planning like with some other friends to go in the beginning of 2015. But then it like clashed with my work. I couldn't go. So I was like, I was going to go alone, but it didn't work out. And she was like, "Yeah, but can you play music alone?" So I sent her some of my like solo project things, and she was like, "Yeah, this is much better. I love this stuff. Can you, like, if you can get your ass to Tokyo, I'll book you a tour." So I was like, "What? This is so surreal. Like, is this lady, is she?" Yeah, it's crazy. So I was like, "No, this can't be real." But I was like, what the hell? I was bored in Stockholm, and I really, like, it has so much shit that has been, like, going on in my life at that time, and I was just, like, so sick of everything, and I just wanted to get away from Sweden, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, fuck it, let's go. So I booked a ticket to Japan, to this random like Japanese booker who said that she had booked me a tour, and I was like, this could be anything. Like when I get there, this could be like a fat, I don't know, man who's going to rob me.
Hello,
When I get to the airport.
Yeah, it's like I've never met this person. I don't know anybody who knows this person. I'm going to travel like alone to the other side of the like of the Earth.
Yeah.
So it's like I was a little bit nervous, but not slightly as like my mother and some of my friends, like my best girlfriend then. Like Tove, she was so mad at me for going. Like she was like, "No, you can't do this. You're gonna get kidnapped. She's gonna take you." And I was like, "No, it's okay, it's okay." But then I went, and I met this lady at the airport, and I was like, "Wow, I'm in Japan." And there was a little, like, she was a bit odd, for sure, but had in fact booked like 3 gigs for me when I got there, and it was like. I was so just like overwhelmed by just being in Japan, so I didn't think too much about it when I was there. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. And it was so cool. But then I get to like, I had no idea how audiences were in Japan and how it were to play there, because like I had been playing live so much in Sweden. Like we had lives almost every week for the past year. That year, so we had been playing a lot, so I know how to, I know how to sound check, I know how to set up a concert, and I know how to like be on stage, but I didn't know the Japanese protocol for it, and I didn't know like the Japanese word for. I was so nervous because I was playing on an electric guitar, and I had some guitar pedals with me, and I didn't know how to like transform the, like they have different electricity there. So you need like electricity converters.
Like an adapter.
Yeah, but it's slightly different for like guitar pedals. So you need some like a special converter for them. And I was so scared. I didn't know, like when I was sound checking and like they were testing out my sound on the first gig. And I was like, he's like, yeah, do this guy. Like how is the sound? And I was like, yeah, I want to tell them to give me a bit more reverb and lower the this and that, but I have no idea how to say that in Japanese. So I was sick. But it came time. I played my first concert, and I was so nervous. I remember I stood backstage. I'm like, how are the Japanese people gonna handle me? But I was I'm so raw, and I'm not. They're so small and cute and perfect. Everybody, that's like nothing what I am. But it went really well. So I went out there, and everybody were like the first thing I noticed was that everybody was doing this like hand movements, and they were kind of dancing and doing it like synchronized. And they did one thing they did like with their hand. I'm showing the camera now. It's like, the rock and roll symbol kind of, but they do it when they like something, and they spin their hand around in the air. And they had a lot of like different. Awesome. Yeah, like different kind of dance moves that they did, and I was like, "What are they doing?" And I asked my friend in Japanese, like, "Why were everybody doing this?" What I like, they're like, "No, it means that they're like you." I'm like, what? It was so weird. Awesome. But yeah, it was really fun. So I got to play. Like first, I did a solo show together with a couple of other artists at one venue, and then I played at a little like bar cafe, smaller place. And then I was scheduled to play at a small like music festival together with 8 other bands, and I was the only person playing solo there. But I got there, and I realized that the person that had booked me, the Swedish woman, she didn't know much Japanese, and I kind of quickly like realized that I can speak better Japanese than she can. So she had booked me in with these Japanese bands without being able to actually like talk to them, but she had money and she had other stuff that she like lured them in with. But I realized that like she didn't understand what they were saying half of the time, but I did. So I clicked so much faster with the record label that were arranging these concerts. I was able to talk to them. And I noticed like she didn't know what I was saying, but she was getting all nervous because she didn't really want me to like play with them, so they would be my booker. She wanted to like own me because she was the one who discovered me, she thought. So yeah, but anyway, so I played that night, and it was a really successful concert. And afterwards, like, I met the singer of one of the other bands that played there, and that band was Aura, and it's a guy called Reds, and he was one of the guys, he was one of the big bands when Visual K first started, like in the 80s in Japan, when Japan was big. Yeah, Japanese glam rock. There was like two big bands, like back in the day before Japan blew up. It was his band Aura, and it was Japan, and they were at the same level approximately, and they were like making history because they were the first ones to do like that type of glam rock in Japan. And then they both grew, and then I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that, but anyway, so some stuff happened with the band. I can skip the bit. So stuff happened with the band, and like Japan got funded a lot more, and they grew, and now they're like the most famous band in Japan ever, with Yoshiki and everything. But anyway, so this guy I heard everybody was super respectful against this guy Reds. And I realized that, okay, this has to be someone important. And then later that night we went out drinking, and we ended up at the bar called Puchkin Market, where they pulled out two guitars. And I could speak like a little bit to these guys, but I wasn't too good at Japanese at this time. But then when we got the guitars out, we just started playing, and we played like, oh my god, it was like something just released. Like, we could talk through music. It was so cool because like there was so many things I wanted to say, but I didn't have the words for it. But as soon as we picked up like a guitar each, we could just play and didn't have this like barrier of clumsy, not knowing how to express, So we were just It was so cool. We were just like one person, one soul. It sounds a bit like, but it was really cool to I felt really close with all of these people that were there, and it was like especially the one of the CEO of this company and this famous singer. And we sat and we just played for hours and hours into the night, and it was so cool. And we really connected, and we sang. I sang their Japanese songs, and just it was a really cool connection. And he was like, "Yeah, you should sing with my band sometime." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that would be so cool." But then my time in Japan was up, and I was like, I have to go back to Sweden because I had a ticket home, and I had a boring ass job in Sweden as a debt collection agent. So I was like, oh my god, it was so boring. But I got back to Sweden, and it was like a dream. Like, I couldn't believe this happened. I was like, wow, I played in Japan, and all these guys were like, yeah, you need to play with us, and we can book more shows, and they lived for the music and just that. And I was like, oh my god. And then I was back in Sweden just, answering calls about people who were angry and didn't want to pay their debts. And I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And then, since I came back from Japan, I was in Sweden for maybe 3 weeks or something. And my boss came to me at work, and she's like, yeah, Maya, I've seen some changes in your attitude towards work. And you really need to, step up your game if you really want to be here.
No way.
And I was like, but I don't want to be here. So she took me aside, right? And I had just the day before gotten a call from a Skype call from some of the guys that I played with in Japan, and they were like, yeah, we're having this festival and you could play at it. It's in next month. Can you be back in Japan in next month? And I'm like, oh my god, I want to go. But at that time I had a fiance, and I had that job. It was a good job, but they paid a lot and stuff, but I hated it. So I was and that same night I had a gig booked in Stockholm. It was my first solo show in Stockholm I did in a year or something, because I always played with my band otherwise. But my boss took me aside and was like, yeah, Maya, you really need to change your attitude towards work if you're gonna, like, if you want to stay here. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to stay here.
Did you say that to
she was
him,
like, yeah, to my boss, and she was like,
damn,
you don't? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to. No, I quit. So I quit my job.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, and I remember I had brought my guitar to work that day because I had a show in the evening. So my guitar was like standing against the wall. So I just like I took my guitar, hung it on my back, and took my hat and was like, I quit. And I walked out the door, and I was like, my heart was pounding this fast, and I was like, Jesus, what am I doing? And I wrote to my friend in Japan, I'm like, so how about that gig, huh? So there's a festival in a month, you're still doing that? And they were like, yeah, can you come? Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get to Japan, and I was just like, oh my god, what am I doing? I just quit my job. But so I went to the gig that night, and funny story, that's where I met Endigo. Kind of. No Endigo came to that gig. Not the first time. You came to the show. I played the show, and after I got home, I was like, what have I done? I quit my job. And I was like, fuck, what have I done? But I was like, no, but I need to get to Japan. I need to get, no, like, I'm like, no, this is a like once in a lifetime chance to just like, they were like, they were so friendly, and they wanted to help me, and they wanted to book more gigs, and they were like, yeah, you can make a living here, and you can, and I was just like, no, let's do it. So I let go of everything. Like I left my fiance, my job, and my apartment, and I booked a one-way ticket to Japan. So I went there.
That's crazy.
And I landed, and everybody was like, yeah, Maya's back. And I was like, yeah, I'm back, baby, no. And I brought my guitar, my Jaguar. So it was like me and my Jaguar against the world. And I was just so happy, and it was so exciting. And so, like, the first week, I landed. These guys, they were like, oh, yeah, they were forming a band. The singer, the singer called Reds, and some other people from this record label, and they had already booked their first show, and they were going to be called Clutch back then, which isn't a very good name, because they're like, for once there is already a band called Clutch that's kind of famous. That's a good. But they're Japanese. They're like in a bubble. They didn't really get that. But I was like, oh, you're gonna be called Clutch. That's interesting. But anyway, so they were going to play a show at a place called Crocodile in Harajuku, and I knew like most of their songs. We were just sitting and playing, like when we were drunk. They were singing a lot, and I always sang with them when we were drunk. And I used to do harmonies on like a specific song called Love, Love, Love. But it's in Japanese, but the refrain is English. But anyway, so we were going to the show, and I was just going there as staff or as a friend. I was going to watch the show when they played. And then on the way there, we got to Harajuku, and we were walking towards the live house. The singer, he just asked me like, yeah, hey, well, why don't you, Maya, you always do harmonies on the last part of the last song we are gonna sing. Why can't you like come up on stage like on the last song? You just come up, grab a microphone, and sing with us the last part of it. And I was like, oh wow, sure, yeah, that would be cool, because there were some big names in that band back then. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And it was a really cool place that they were going to play in. So and then like they did sound check, and he like pointed to a spot where I could stand, but I was just going to come up like to the last part in the last song. But then like it was maybe 20 minutes before the show started. He was like, oh yeah, Maya, can you come here? I was like, yeah, sure. What? He was like, yeah, okay, by the way, isn't it easier if you're just on the whole song, love, 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 so you don't like have to walk up? So I was like, you know the lyrics, it's in Japanese, but it's all right, okay. You have a good, because he always said like, Maya mimi ga ii, you have a good ear, like, because I have what's it called? Gehör in English. Yeah, maybe you call it good ear. Like I could hear fast melodies. So he was like, "Yeah, but you can do the whole song, right?" I was like, "I don't know. Okay, I guess." So I quickly like tried to find the lyrics on Google and couldn't find it because it was a Japanese song. I was like, "Oh shit!" But I was like, "Yeah, I'll improvise something." But I could feel, I was like, "Oh god, I'm gonna sing a song with these
Just
guys."
go sing
That's so cool.
Johnny, that Johnny song, the Yes Papa song.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, when it was like 5 minutes before we went, they were supposed to go on stage, and the people were like filling up, and it was a lot of people there, and Reds just come to me before, like, because they were kind of rehearsing. Before going up on stage, he was like warming up his voice and singing a song, and I was singing along a little bit. He was like, "Yeah, but Maya," this was 5 minutes before the concert started. He was like, "Why don't you know the songs we're gonna do, right?" I was like, I've heard some of them. I don't know the lyrics. They're in Japanese, man. So I was like, "Yeah, kind of, but not really." But he was like, "Yeah, but Maya, you have a really good ear." I was like, "Thank you." So I think you should just do the whole concert with us. I was like, "What?" and then the guitarist, he was like, "Yeah, Maya, you have a good ear. You can do it. Just improvise. Like you know the lyrics, don't you?" I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know, man, Jesus!" And I was like, I ran into the bathroom. I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know the set list. I don't know anything." And I was the only, like, there were only Japanese people there, like everybody in the band and everybody in the audience, and I was like, I don't know Japanese that well. Back then I didn't really, so I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? I don't even know what songs they're gonna play. but I went up there with them. I think it was good that, I'm thankful he asked me like right before, otherwise I would have like had a little bit more time to think. I was and I was like, nope, I can't do this. But I went up there and we did the whole concert together, and they filmed everything and I was like, oh shit. I knew, like, I had heard maybe 80% of the songs I've heard like once or twice ever before. Wow. But so I just like jumped in here and there and laid down some harmonies, and I was so nervous, and but it worked out. That's the weird thing, like, especially like in the last song, I was like, oh my god, it's almost over, and everybody was so appreciative, and everybody, like, being from Sweden, in Sweden, that it's like, yeah, you're anybody, but in Japan I stood out so much because once I'm a girl, I'm tall, and I have blonde hair. So a tall girl with blonde hair, it's like something you don't see in Japan very often. And then being from Sweden, that was very exotic for them. So everybody was very excited that I was there and that I was singing in Japanese. That became a thing. Just that became a thing. And everybody was like, yeah, who is that? Like, Sweden? How's your Sweden? And everybody thought it was really cool. And I think that also like fired up the singer, that he's like, yeah, I have a Swedish girl in the band. And then he said that, really, like, cool. Afterwards he was like, yeah, we have a Swedish like girl in the band. And I was like, I'm in the band? What? You're
in the band?
But I was like, I'm in the band? What? But then they had another show at a festival that was a bit bigger in Japan. And he asked me afterward, he was like, yeah, this went well, so why don't you like sing with us at this next thing? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I can do that. And then we were talking about, and then they were also, I think they went into this concert as to doing kind of a session thing, but everything just clicked and went so well, and it was so good, like, feeling between the musicians and with everything. So they were like, no, let's make this into a band. And then, since I was there from the first concert, they were like, yeah, Maya, you're in. So I started to sing with them, and I also did some solo shows there. But I really got kind of a buzz in that little music part of Tokyo, since I came there as a lonely Swedish girl. No, but so everybody thought that was cool somehow. Like, in Sweden, I would never have gotten buzzed over anything in that way, but just by being like who I am, they thought that was cool. And so I started cool. playing with them a lot, and I lived there for 3 months, and then my visa went out, so I had to go back to Sweden. for like a month. But then I went back to Japan and lived there 3 more months, and I played a lot with these guys. And after a while, we changed name to Bokura no Fune, which means like our boat or something like that. And they brought in another girl who did vocals when I was not there, when I was in Sweden. But it worked out very well with our schedules this first year. So like they didn't have any much shows when I were in Sweden, but then I planned my trips also so I wouldn't miss the dates that they had, the bigger shows. So that was really awesome. So that's how it started basically. And then
that's crazy.
When my visa went out, so I was stuck in Sweden for quite a while, and they continued to play, and they played without me, but which kind of, I felt like, damn it, I don't want to be in Sweden. But then I met Endigo, like we started hanging out for real and got to know each other. And that was really cool, and we started to working together, and I was like, yeah, okay, there's something nice in being being in Sweden. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
But now,
That's
like
crazy,
every time I go there, I play together with them, and we like, if they know I'm coming to Japan, they always like write to me, and we make special playlist with songs that they know that I can sing well, and sometimes they're like, yeah, Maya, can't you sing this or that? And so we plan stuff. So whenever I'm there, I'm singing with them, and otherwise it's Reds, who's like, he's the band's lead singer. So like when I'm not there, he's always singing, and like when I'm there, he's also lead singer. But they give me, like last time, they always give me lead on a couple of songs just to, mix it up a bit. But yeah,
it's crazy. I feel like that could be like a mini film with like you being in like this. It's like the first Incredibles. Like you're in this boring job, and then your guitar's on the side, and then you just like no, I quit, and then walk out with your guitar, and then as you leave, there's dancers, music starts playing, and then you just start singing in Japanese, walking on a plane. That's amazing. That's so crazy. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's a really crazy story. Doesn't seem real.
I remember that feeling when I grabbed my guitar, like put it on my back, and I took my hat, because I had like, my hat was lying, a big black hat was lying on top of the guitar.
Awesome.
And I took that in one hand, guitar on back, put my hat, and like, I'm quitting. And there was like explosions in the behind, and my boss was like, what? And my colleague that was left, she's like, what? I was like, and I walked out there and like, I'm going to Japan.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
It was kind of crazy, I guess. Like, I haven't really thought about it, because I've been, like, back then I was so, like, caught up by everything, and there was so much going on. I was just like, I need to learn Japanese fast. But I did learn very fast, like, being there, and since I didn't have any friends when I got there, like, I came alone, and all the people there were hanging out with basically were Japanese people. I just had to, like, I was forced to learn. Like, I was forced to speak Japanese, even when I didn't really want to, and that was so good. I'm so thankful for that. Like, I don't think I would have I would have speak any Japanese if it weren't for that, or like understand as well. Even when it's hard and you don't want to, but just force yourself to try.
You have to.
I think that's the best thing when you're trying to learn a new language. Like, just surround yourself with the language and force yourself to speak and try to,
because you kind of use it every day, in and out kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Before we start to round up, did you guys watch the Markiplier game theory video?
Yeah. I watched 50% of it.
So
on the conspiracy of Markiplier.
Oh my god. So going into it, I was afraid that MatPat, he has a tendency to like pull out stuff where there maybe isn't anything. So I was afraid that like this was going to be like very dragged out, but to my surprise, the video was really good. He made some really good points. I've been thinking about that a lot with some Mark videos I've seen throughout the years, where they turn like creepy or turn weird for no apparent reason, and it's clear that he has been building some kind of cinematic universe. It's a really good video. It's very interesting. That being said, though, I think he's grasping a little bit when he's talking about Mark in his vlogs, because I feel like Mark is just the video we talked about a few episodes ago, for example. I feel like that is a video of Mark just venting, but he brought that one up as a point in the lore in the video. It was pretty weird. I see his points, but I don't know. It was fun, but
I think it's really interesting because on that video that we talked a lot about, in the comments, there's a lot of comments like, "This is weird. This seems like a monologue. You know, this seems like a rewritten, like, you know, preconcept, like script kind of thing." Which I don't think. I'm not necessarily saying it is, but then if you take those comments and you link it with Matt Pat's theory that the Markiplier character is just a character, you know, and that's not Mark. And like, cause sometimes Mark talks in third person when he refers to Markiplier and stuff. I was like, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
But do you think that it is maybe not the Markiplier thing, but all of the other stuff? Do you think it is as like preconceived and thought out as he says in the video? Because he says like he starts linking like phrases from sentences from like videos that are years apart.
Yeah,
and I was like,
there's no way that Mark planned that, like, you know, 5 years.
Yeah, I think much like the Five Nights at Freddy's series, I think the lore now is probably that, but I don't think that was the intention. I think he's like almost retconned it a bit, but I definitely think there was an intention all the way to have something going on, but I rather think he's just built one step at a time, and now he's kind of trying to tie it all together, make some bigger narrative.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think like in the latest projects, he writes around what's happened previously, so it seems linked, you know? Maybe. Yeah. But it's a really good video. If anyone listening hasn't seen it, go and watch it. It's worth watching. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, on the Game Theory channel, the Markiplier, whatever it's called, video.
Yeah, it's like,
it's good though.
you trust him. Yeah, it's interesting.
I like to see Mark react to that video and like talk to it. I don't think he will though, because that might be a bit, you know, if there is a character to it, watching that video might break the character in a way.
I think he tweeted it out. I think that like because that video has been made, Mark's gonna do even more of that stuff now because it's like a confirmation of like that his writing is that depth.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I see now. He tweeted the video and he didn't write anything with the tweet. He just
no.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he's going to be like confirmed. There's so much depth in my writing.
Yeah, it's like Illuminati
I'm
confirmed.
such a genius.
I am a creative genius.
Yeah, when we get him on the podcast, we'll ask him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry if my Japanese story got a bit long, by the way.
I think it was fascinating. I didn't think. I thought it would be like you just met them in Japan and, you know, like started a band. Not that like you left your job and then you went with one-way ticket to Japan and then you... That's insane. That's crazy. It genuinely could be a film.
It was kind of crazy. I really didn't think I would ever come back to Sweden because I didn't want to, like, I thought it wouldn't be such a hard thing to get a visa in Japan as it is back then. So that's why I bought a one-way ticket, because I didn't want to buy a ticket back.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't think you were going to come back either. So that's why we shot. Because you went there for a few months and then you came back here for like a week or two before you went back for the festival thing. And during that period, we hung out and we shot a collab. And you talked and you were like, yeah, dude, I'm going, and I'm leaving, and I'm not returning. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, I remember. I told you that.
And I had just joined Batar as well, but that wasn't announced. And I was like, well, I actually have some Japan stuff cooking. And so we were like talking like, well, maybe we'll meet again in Japan in the future. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah. I remember that. We were standing in your old kitchen. I was like, yeah, I have some exciting stuff. I can't really tell you about it. And you were like, yeah, I have some exciting stuff too. And that was Tekken, but you couldn't talk about it yet.
Yeah, that was like months.
And I remember you played a bit of Vrede before it was like...
Yeah.
Before you had recorded the
blasted
vocals?
it in the room, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing. We're gonna be in Tekken.
here's the
It's
thing.
secret. Here's the song. What is your secret? Tell me.
It's like, what? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to talk about the Tekken thing in the next episode.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know that story either.
Oh my god.
No, but yeah, Maya, I think that's a cracking story.
Yeah.
Have you got a video on it?
Have you done a video on it?
I haven't really, because I mean, there are a lot of different sides to it, and there's kind of a dark part of the story as well.
Oh, fair play. Yeah, fair enough.
So it's like I mean, I could make a whole documentary about it properly, but it all like I was going to make a video about it, but then when I broke up with my old manager, the one who got me there. Like, I'm thankful she got me there, but she was a monster and she locked me inside of her apartment, and there was a lot of shit going on.
Damn.
But I haven't like been able to talk about that because
Classic Japanese work ethics.
Yeah, kind of. She's been on my, like, there were like legal actions almost getting involved to it, so I haven't been able to talk about any of it on the channel or anywhere. This is like the first time I'm mentioning anything about it, actually. Damn. But that's another story. Wow, kind of. But I really want to make a video or something about it in the future. Yeah, but because now things have kind of settled down a little bit more than they had back then. It was also fresh, and it was. It's hard to explain without telling the story. But we'll talk about it sometime. It's
cool.
It's crazy.
Awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Indigo, is there any questions that we've got that are worth answering before we go?
Yeah, I was really last minute with reaching out for questions.
It's right. We've done time anyway, so.
But we can do one. Let's see. Aria7 Song asks, for each of you, what was the first video / song that you ever heard or saw from one of the other two people on the podcast?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
So I can start, I guess. First I ever heard of Maya was her. She mentioned her old band in Sweden, Novembervägen. I heard that band. I don't know how. I just came across them online way back before I knew you. Maybe somebody recommended them, or
common friends and stuff.
Yeah, but I found your music on SoundCloud and started listening to you guys. And
you did?
I thought you were really good. So I listened through your EP and your old single that was just released back then. And then I saw you live, and you were really cool. And then I went to a party, and you were there, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are talking about the band." And you're like, "Well, I'm in the band," and I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know it was you." Hi, Johnny.
Yes, Papa.
Yeah, so that was crazy. Dave, I actually think the first thing I saw, the first video of yourself I saw, was your reaction to PewDiePie reacting to Day by Dave Good Channel. I saw his video.
No.
I saw his video first, where he reacted to all your stuff, and then I went onto your channel, like, who's this dude? And you were like, oh my god, PewDiePie talked about Day by Dave Good Channel. And I was like, wow, that is insane. And I watched through his video, and he like spent like 6 minutes talking about your channel. And I was like, what the hell? Oh my god. So yeah.
Good time.
That was way back before My Name is Jeff.
Yeah, I remember. I think the first video I saw from you, Dave, was Family Friendly Felix. Family Friendly Felix.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Not Day by Dave Good Channel, obviously. Friendly Phoenix. You know what I mean.
I know what you meant, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first Indigo video you saw?
The first Indigo video I saw was, I'm pretty sure it was one of the Undertale acapellas that you used to do. It was what's it called?
All right, Death by Glamour.
Death by Glamour. And I remember, and I saw that video and I was like, what the hell is this? Because it's like in the video, Indigo standing in front of a green screen and jumping and dancing around. You had like a bow tie and a suit jacket.
Yeah.
But it was like flashing like disco lights in the like animated background kind of, and you were just singing this a cappella, so you weren't singing words, just making noises and like and jumping around like and that thing had like 20,000 views or something when I saw it, and I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? I have no idea what this is. This is so weird. And I remember that, I think that was like maybe we like after one of my shows that you came to and we talked, and you're like, yeah, I'm Indigo, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check this, who is this dude? And that was like your channel trailer or something at the time. It's like, what is this? I really didn't get the concept. I'm like, what is this?
Because you were such a, classic rock and roll chick, know. So.
And I didn't hang out at YouTube at all. Like, I didn't have an own account at YouTube. I did nothing at YouTube. So I really didn't understand that. That was so weird. But then I was like, oh, this is cool. And then we did an acapella together. So a couple of months later, but that was weird, man. So, Dave, what was the first videos you saw?
I think the first one I saw on Maya's channel was a live stream that you did. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. It was just you. I think you were just chilling out for a little bit because I remember commenting on it.
Yeah, I remember that when you were in the chat, and I was writing to Andy. I was like, "Yeah, oh my god, David is in the chat."
And then the first Endigo. Well, it's not an Endigo video. I saw the Nanda thing on PewDiePie's reaction. And then the first Endigo video I remember seeing was "My Name Is Jeff." I think that was when I messaged you.
But you've been there since the cringe compilation, then.
Yeah, well, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that ages ago. But I've probably seen like videos, just not known. You know, just like watched it and just kind of moved on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's a good question. Good question.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, thanks so much for that.
That was a good question.
Yeah. We been going for well over an hour. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, maybe we should.
A good place to round it out.
Should we wrap it up next
well,
time?
We can take or take a quick.
Well, yeah,
quick one.
A quickie, yeah. Let's take a quick one.
Yeah.
One quick one.
Okay. What's your favorite actual song that you've made, everybody?
Oh no, that's a long question.
You can say one. I think for me, maybe Dan TDM Remix is one of my favorites, just because it's so dumb, but it's so good in a weird way.
Yeah, I'll say my song, Two Destructive Minds.
Oh, you're single.
Maybe, yeah.
I think mine would be the first episode of the musical, because I like the music for it.
Dude, that is a great choice.
Yeah, that's great.
Would it be weird if I made a cover of that song?
No, go for it if you want. Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Be funny.
But thank you. Thank you so much for this episode.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes. Any last words before we do our sign-offs?
Next time, you have to tell me about your YouTube space visit.
Yes, that's a big cliffhanger. We went to YouTube Wednesday last week here in Stockholm, and we have some good stuff coming from that. But that'll have to wait.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, tell us about it next week.
But thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Maya, the illustrious, if they want to get part of your illustrosity, is that a word? Where can they find you?
You can find me at Maya Fennick over at YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram. MAYAFENNAC.
Cool. And Dave, creative genius, if they want to take part in your genial creativity, where can they find you and your big genius?
At Dave Delirious on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube it's just Dave by Dave. Now, what about you, Endigo?
Cool. I'm Endigo on YouTube and Endigo Skyborn everywhere else, because Endigo was
the
taken.
Papa connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to give a
new
quick
thing.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Instagram for the user on Instagram who's been having the Endigo username has been a dead account with 0 posts and 0 followers, 0 following, just a profile picture of some fat dude. And I've messaged him so many times throughout the years, and then I went back to the Endigo username 2 days ago, and suddenly that's not the account anymore. Now it's some random girl in America who's very active and has like 500 followers. And I'm like, why did she get the username? God damn it.
Oh,
so,
damn.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to send her an email and like, hey, how much you want? So we'll see. Maybe next time I'm gonna have @Endigo on Instagram, but probably not.
Yeah. You'll have to let us know.
Yeah, but thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, share the podcast with your friends, and leave a comment down below if you think we are nice or if you think we suck. And see you next week. Cheers.
Bye.